So inner child healing has a lot of articles written about it. Inner child healing has a lot to do with you examining your childhood and figuring out how people have treated you unfairly so that you can rewrite the script. And inner child healing has a lot to do with you realizing that you're not the child anymore, that you're the adult. And yes, people might have treated you unfairly, people might have treated you with less love than you deserved, but you are the adult now, you're not the inner child. So here are 20 signs that your inner child needs healing. The first one is fear of speaking up. You are afraid to express your ideas. You're afraid to share who you are with the world out of fear that people might label you as the different one, as the weird one. Number two is the fear of asking for help. You struggle to express your needs to people because maybe they weren't available to you, friends or family members. So now you've kind of learned that it's not okay to share your needs with people. Number three is fear of being seen. You struggle to stand in your own power. You struggle to show your authenticity with the world. Again, because you've been kind of conditioned that you should fit in. Number three, the fear of saying no. So you struggle to set these boundaries. You struggle when it comes to saying no to people because you are afraid that people might not want to be your friends. People are going to label you in a specific way that it's not okay. You don't have the freedom to be yourself. Number five is the fear of commitment, which is often what we see in relationships. And people that have a fear of commitment are not monsters without any emotions. The people that have a fear of commitment are actually people that have been disappointed so much during the process of living that they've decided that they're gonna observe everyone in the room and kind of make sure that they leave before anyone attacks them, anyone abandons them. Number six, people pleasing. This is very common for people that have gone through a lot of inner child healing, a lot of inner child trauma. So they now need to shape-shift their personality in order to avoid further trauma. But in the process of doing that, they kind of destroy their chances of being supported, being seen, being loved, truly. Because how can you love someone if you don't know their true identity, their true authenticity? And with people pleasing, that's kind of what happens. You are unable to express who you are with the world. And so there's always this lack, this inability to share who you are. Number seven is the inability to accept compliments. So if you haven't done your inner child healing and people start to compliment you, you might feel that they're kind of attacking you, or they're putting the groundwork to give you the final blow and disappoint you and destroy you, which is, again, something that happens as a result of childhood trauma. But when you learn to accept compliments, you're going to start to give yourself the permission to be seen, to be recognized, to be valued. Number eight, the inability to delegate tasks, which is what happens with high performers in teams, where the person that has a lot of responsibilities decides, I'm going to do it because I know my way, I'm going to do it because I know better, or I'm going to do it because the person I'm going to ask might disappoint me. Once again, there are many scenarios, but one of them is the person that you asked agreed to do it, but then they never did it, or the person that you asked to help you agreed to do it, but took forever to do it. So by the time they gave it to you, you're like, I don't need it anymore. Or the person you asked for help agreed to do it, but did it with a lot of errors. They did it in their own way. You didn't expect that. You didn't want that. So being a high performer 24/7 is not natural, but we've been conditioned to be high performers because society has persuaded us that in order for us to have value, we need to produce a lot of results. Again, this is your conditioning, and this is your inner child needing your attention more so than anything. Number 9 is the constant self-criticism, which kind of happens when you have grown up around caretakers, but also a community where people were negative. Even if they were negative towards you, your inner child has remembered, has witnessed other people that you love being self-critical. So your subconscious mind has picked up on this kind of behavior as the norm. So you're more likely to fall into the trap of self-criticism if you haven't done the subconscious reprogramming. So changing the narrative and switching to self-love. Number 10 is the deeply rooted sadness. So we carry a lot of our wounds with us because we don't take the time to stop and understand what are the triggers and why we're experiencing certain triggers. And all of these triggers are like pop-ups. And when we agree to look at the pop-up, we can integrate the sadness that we carry with us and no longer carry it. And when we stop carrying the sadness from the past, the energetic link that links us to the past is no longer there. It's integrated. So we're no longer triggered and we're no longer bringing the past with us wherever we go as, you know, these suitcases that we're dragging everywhere. Number 11 is jealousy. So jealousy has everything to do with you. I know that sometimes we get jealous when we have people receive things that we want and they receive them rather easy. But the point of the triggers when we get jealous is to figure out where we have been denied certain things and how can we give those things to us. This is how we start to reparent the inner child. Because jealousy is a natural feeling, it's a normal thing. People always have certain things that we don't, and people always have things that we don't have before us. And so it's okay to notice that you're jealous, but don't let jealousy consume you. Instead, use the jealousy as a learning opportunity for you to figure out where you're lacking a little bit of love, a little bit of attention, a little bit of care. And yeah, jealousy is a reminder that this is where you need to apply more self-love and more self-compassion. Number 12 is constant comparison and competition with other people, which is again something that society has conditioned us to do. If you think about schools and how they have these competitions where you have the losers and the winners, this is embedded into your subconscious mind from when you were a kid, that there's always going to be one winner and a lot of losers, and you should aspire to be that winner. Because if you're not the winner, you're by default the loser. When in fact, in society, there is no winner. We're just learning every single day. We're collaborating every single day. And the most successful businesses in the world are the ones where people are high performers working to achieve a vision together. And it's not a system where people get punished for their actions, for their attitudes, especially when they're trying to bring their authenticity into the mix. Number 13, not feeling good enough. Again, we have unrealistic beauty standards everywhere you turn to, whether it's movies, TV series, marketing, social media, the celebrities. The feeling that you're not good enough always comes when you're comparing yourself to something that you're not in the present moment. And this could be comparison to a role model, to a beauty standard. It could be a comparison to an outdated idea of who you should be, a type of behavior, or a set of habits. So in order for you to understand what you're going against, you need to figure out what it is. First of all, what are you comparing yourself to so that you can conquer it and you can integrate it. But to feel not good enough is to expect of you to be something that you're not right now in the present moment, because all the change happens in the present moment. Number 14, you're scared of being alone. And this has to do with friendships, this has to do with colleagues, with relationships, with your partner, because when we are born into the world, you know, we are a daughter or a son, and then we go into the role of a sister, a brother, a cousin, a friend, a partner, a boyfriend, a girlfriend, a wife, a husband, a colleague. There's always some sort of title that we wear that society has given us. And the point of being alone and spending time in solitude is to figure out who you are beyond these titles? What do you bring in terms of your authenticity? And the best way to overcome this fear of being alone is to actually spend some time on your own and do the self-reflection, do the inner work. And the quote I've chosen here is, dare to be bold, brave, and authentic, because there's only one of you in the world. There's only one of us. So when we embrace our authenticity, we claim our power and our energetic signature. Number 15 is repressed anger. So to heal your inner child, you need to feel your emotions. And we carry a lot of anger due to the way that we've been treated unfairly during our upbringing, our teenage years, maybe our early career years. People were judging us based on our lack of experience, and opportunities went to other people. There's a lot of things that can cause anger in us. So it's important to realize where anger is connected to, because anger weighs us down. Anger is heavy, and it's okay to release the anger. Also, it's okay to give yourself permission to release that anger, because holding on to it is not going to bring justice to what happened in the past. It's all learning opportunities. Let your anger transform into passion and use that to channel your potential into the world. That's the biggest revenge, even if you were treated unfairly. All the power is within you, so use it wisely. Number 16 is being the parent figure. So if you find yourself being the responsible adult in every friendship, in every work situation, you are probably dealing with some inner child healing that needs to happen, because maybe you were left to look after your emotional needs as a child. Maybe you attracted friends that kind of mimicked those relationships, because we tend to relive the trauma until we heal from it. So you figured somewhere along the way, if I can help myself, I can probably help other people. And so you bring that attitude everywhere you go, but it's not serving you because you're not acknowledging that you have needs. And it's okay to prioritize your needs. If you don't, who will? Number 17 is you lack boundaries. So the empaths of the world love to share their love, their kindness, their inspiration, their joy, their positivity, but somewhere along the line of living and doing that, they kind of see that a lot of people carry resentment, a lot of people carry a lot of pain, and so the empaths get used to having no boundaries because other people need their love more than they need their own love. But of course, this results in more trauma and more enabling of the trauma cycles in life. So give yourself the grace that you give other people. Give yourself the breathing room to become your own person and to enjoy the fruits of that love that you carry for everyone else. Because imagine if you invested in yourself that same love that you give to other people, and that joy and that positivity, the kind of ideas that you can develop, the kind of creativity that you can bring in the world, and not just looking after the needs of other people, because it's not your responsibility to fix people. It's not your responsibility to save people. It's not your responsibility to open people's eyes to the healing work, because they are adults. It's not your responsibility to be the parent of adults. It's your responsibility to look after the needs of your children. And if adults around you, are struggling with things, be the person that leads by example. Number 18 is the inability to relax. If your inner child needs healing, you might struggle with taking time off, pausing, and just appreciating the time off between tasks, because your mind is kind of conditioned to switch between task A to task B to task C. There's always something to do, because if you were to stop, you would be reminded of memories perhaps, or you would be reminded that you could be doing something, which again contradicts with the idea that you need to earn the love and respect by being someone, by doing something, by producing results. Number 19 is seeking external validation, which again is kind of connected to the people pleasing. But seeking external validation means that sometimes you might allow people who don't understand what you're doing stop you from being yourself, because you don't fit into their idea of how you should behave. And the quote that I've chosen here is, don't let people's inability to understand you stop you from being yourself, because nobody knows exactly what visions, what ideas you carry. And when we seek external validation in order to proceed forward, sometimes we stop innovating, stop creating, stop channeling our ideas, because we think, what if I get judged? What if I don't get the approval? That means that I'm not worthy of love. You are worthy of love, but the first person that you should give that love to is yourself, and that will set the tone for every other relationship in your life. Your authenticity, moreover, is inspiring this awakening in other people to be authentic themselves and to free themselves from the sadness, from the anger, from the bitterness, from the jealousy, and you know, being not okay with being different, because we're all authentic, and by definition authenticity means you are different, and that is your superpower. What your difference brings to the table, that is your superpower. And the final point, number 20, is your inability to celebrate success, which was the lesson that took me the longest to learn. It's okay to celebrate your daily wins. It's okay to celebrate the big milestones, even if you're not exactly where you want to be. Hold the hand of your inner child and review every day through the lens of gratitude, for you have done so much inner work that you are now able to remain in a state of joy wherever you are in life. That's the real achievement, to become the person that you